Hulk Hogan, and he ends up, we all know the story, he ends up getting his ankle broken in the first 30 seconds. What was Hiro Matsuda looking for as far as someone who he wanted to hurt right away and run off right away? What was it about Hogan that he didn't like?
Well, this story has gotten bent out of shape from the way it really was because Hogan was training with me. When I left, and he actually had his first match with me as a super destroyer. So his ankle hadn't been touched and he had been through hell with Hiro. And to be honest with you, Terry is a lot tougher than a lot of people think. I mean, he learned a lot of hooking and he's just a strong guy. He was just a nice guy and he was never an aggressive person. He was a good athlete. He was a heck of a guitar player. I used to sneak into the bar called The Other Place and watch him play in a band called Ruckus. And he had these big platforms. He was already 6'7", 6'8", and had these big platforms on. So he was like 7'2" with this long blonde hair and a bass guitar. And so he was the show in itself. And then I'd see him in the Armory when Tuesday night came around, and lo and behold, he wound up down in the dungeon. But when he was in the dungeon, he made it through the dungeon, and he made it to the point where he became the super destroyer. They put him. They didn't know what to do with him, so they put him in a mask. We had our first match in Chiefland, and of course that turned into a big rib. It's funny. That's in the book, truth be told. But I know Vern shot on him and Vern Gagne one time, and he sprawled and hooked Vern Gagne. And all the boys were were witnesses of that. Brad Reagans and several other people at that time. But when I left and went to Louisiana to Bill Watts' territory, my first territory, Terry was doing good, and we kind of lost touch because I was on to bigger and better things, and Terry was still in Florida. Well, apparently there was some kind of he got tired of the way they were using him or whatever, and then he came back, and when he came back, that's when Hiro broke his ankle.
Right. What was the reasoning, or was there ever a reason given?
I do not know, honestly, why Hiro broke his ankle, other than once in a while, Hiro would have a tough time with Terry. And Terry could get him he was learning enough to get him into compromising positions. And, before I left, I was the enforcer, what's called the enforcer so I had to go stretch all the people and do all that kind of stuff. But trying to stretch Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff and Terry Bollea, Hulk Hogan, was very difficult. Although it happened a little bit, we got smart enough to start working with each other a little bit. And without, it was like that old, what I always heard about they did in Portland, working the shoot, and Elton Owens would give these guys like an extra $15 or $20 to have a shoot for 15 minutes or 10 minutes. And the guys would go out there and work that a little bit. But we were getting smart enough where we knew we had already been through enough hell. And we would start loosening up on each other and just, kind of working our shoots. And, but nonetheless, you can't take anything away from Terry. And you can't take away from anything from Paul. Neither one of them had amateur wrestling backgrounds. Paul was a football player and a bodybuilder, and Hulkster was a bodybuilder and a baseball player. But both of them were athletes in their own right. I'm so sorry about this phone going off. Excuse me, I thought I turned that off. But both of them were athletes in their own right, and good athletes, good people. And again, I don't know exactly what happened other than Hiro did break his ankle.